Consumerism is also highlighted in Robert Heinecken's Untitled No. 4, which is part of his Recto Verso series from 1988. Throughout his career, Heinecken consistently interrogated the roles and strategies of popular media in contemporary life, and he rarely created original photographs with a camera. Rather, he appropriated, reproduced, and altered found photographs from magazines and other pop culture sources. Recto Verso is an excellent example of his cameraless working methods and his critical commentary on advertising imagery, consumerism, and especially beauty culture. Heinecken's Recto Verso photograms were created by contact printing double-sided fashion magazine pages. It reproduces the imagery and text from the front side and the back side of the page together, intertwined in evocative ways on the same photographic page. The silver dye bleach printing process that Heinecken used replicates the glossy color and texture of the fashion magazines and produces crisp text, heightening the planned and unplanned juxtapositions of text, image, and color in advertising and magazine editorials. The content of the Recto Verso prints are, characteristically of fashion magazines, chock full of female bodies and luscious-looking cosmetic products, and the sequencing that Heinecken collapses amplifies the heavy-handed and sometimes conflicting marketing messages aimed at women. In Untitled No. 4, a blindfolded and corseted woman is overlaid with a close-up shot of a child's hand messily applying red lipstick to, presumably, her mother's lips. The text in the lower left reads, "In a season of neutral makeup, there is also the very modern contrast of bright lip colors worn as the only real color on an almost nude face. Part of the appeal, playing with color, as much of a lift for a woman as it is for the child in our picture here. On one side of the page, we're playing dress-up. On the other side, we're playing a very different game. Merged together, the smear of red lipstick over the white corset amplifies the undercurrent of violent objectification running through, unfortunately, so much pop culture representation of women." Carrie Weems's photograph with added text is a powerful complement and contrast to Heinecken's Recto Verso. Here, Weems challenges the way that women have been represented in visual media from a very personal perspective, reflecting specifically on representations of women of color in fine art and within the art world. In her practice, Weems uses photography as a form of political and aesthetic expression, and often employs storytelling as a means to understand history. Not Manet's Type is a highly personal and political series from 1997 of carefully constructed self-portraits paired with first-person text that questions the very foundations of modern art. The images and the text that Weems has added to the mat address the status that art history has allotted to female artists and subjects of color. The title refers to revered male artists of European descent like Edouard Manet, and by extension his famous painting Olympia from 1863, in which a black female servant is nearly invisible in the background as she tends to the white prostitute who is her mistress. In her images, Weems allows the viewer to peer voyeuristically into her bedroom, similar to the setting for Olympia, as she considers her place in art history as subject, muse, and creator. Her text, which becomes the title, reads, "It was clear I was not Manet's type. Picasso, who had a way with women, only used me, and Duchamp never even considered me."